Cops. First time I dealt with the cops, I was in fucking, it was my sophomore year in high school in Colorado. I ended up stealing a box of condoms from a fucking Safeway station. And, instead of me owning up to me stealing a box of condoms, when I got back to high school, I decided, I stole a water bottle. Which makes a whole lot more sense. I was like, what are people gonna think of me if I stole a box of condoms? I'm a fucking idiot, but fucking that shit. But what I really did realize from that instance is honesty is not the best policy with the cops. It's just not. You can be honest as you want, unless you got a deal or something and you're about to snitch or something. Honesty is not the best policy. But I went in there, stole a box of condoms, walked out. The security guard caught me. I thought it was a homie just fuck with me, like, you're bad. I'm gonna catch you up for stealing this box of condoms. So I just let this thing grab me and shit. I was behind. I'm like, fuck, you're not my homie, so on and so forth. And then take me in a little room, try to like record the shit, like, yeah, I got you here and here. You didn't find that shit, but I was like, yeah, I stole it, I stole it. And then getting just a little ticket for that shit, so on and so forth. And not too much happened besides the fact that I looked like an idiot at my school for stealing a water bottle. I was just lying. It's like, if people think I'm stealing condoms, they're gonna think, what are they gonna think of me? I just gotta say water. I was a fucking idiot back then. So yeah, that's my story of that shit. The second time I dealt with the cops was when I had my car and I was just driving with my new car. I had a drop top Audi, like 1998, red Audi, so on and so forth. It was nice. It was fucking cool. But I went to a movie, came out when it was dark. I didn't know how to turn on lights, so I just forgot to. Cop pulled me over, ended up just letting me go. And then another day, I was driving around, like, on this beautiful, beautiful street. It was all paved, it was smooth, it was slick, it was fine, and you could just drive on this shit like, a NASCAR driver and shit. And I was just peeling out on this shit, going like, 50 for a while. Hit a stop sign, ended up just going 40. And I realized the street went from a 5-lane street, a just pure, newly paved street, to a 2-lane street with a medium in the middle. And literally I was driving, just like driving, like just speeding, smoking a blunt, driving. Just like driving down. I realized the road stopped. I looked to my right, and literally the road is over here. And it's not like you go down the road and it's right here. It was right here. Like, straight, you had to turn around to hit this road. So I fucking immediately, when I saw that shit, I hit on the brake, started turning that shit, and my suspension was already fucked up from that shit. Hit it, and I ended up making it. But I got way too cocky, and I hit a fucking, like, slanting curve. And my car just went 5 feet in the air. Well, 5 feet in the air for a good, like, 5 seconds. And my second 3, my wheels finally dropped. But by then, I was already 2 feet to 3 feet in this fence. And the fence broke all the way down the middle of my car. So I'm literally in this shit. And I fucking finally come to a stop 15 fucking feet later after I'm, driving through this fence. 20 to 25, white people start running out of there. I was like, oh my god, is he okay? Is he okay? And the hilarious thing, if it wasn't for the fact that it was people laughing at me, like, if I was a third person in this situation just looking at a person, I'm not sure I would have laughed because I'd been sorry for him because I would have smoked one too, but my car was filled with smoke. Not smoke from my car, but smoke from the weed that I was smoking. And people were freaking out. They thought my car was on fire and all this other shit. They all started screaming like, oh my god, you need to get out of the car. The one dude that is right next to my car, like, you need to get out of the car right now. Right now. I was just like, man, it's cool, it's cool. You need to get out of the car right now. I, like, dropped my top and shit. He started smelling the smoke and just looked at me like, nah, and just walked the fuck away. Got out the car and shit. Fucking cops came a little bit later, like this and that, so on and so forth. Like, the first cop that showed up was in the Charger, and he was held tight. Like, he was probably one of the coolest cops I met. He was like, damn, so you're speeding a little bit and hit this. I was like, man, the curb, like, I didn't even know the fucking street was like this. And he's cool with it. Another car, and a regular cop car came, and he was just like, you see this, like, skid mark, so on and so forth? I was like, yeah, man, I made the curb. And started talking all this other bull crap. I said the story, like, Started driving, didn't see that the road was ending, and I hit a hard turn, so another car coming down, and my left wheel hit the medium, and as soon as my left wheel hit the medium, like, the car space is literally, like, the lane space is probably as big as my arms. So, as soon as I told him, I was like, yeah, I hit the medium, my left front wheel hit the medium, then my right front wheel hit the fucking, slanting curve, so on and so forth, and I hit the fence, and that was it. The first guy was like, damn, and after I wrote it all down, like, that sounds right to me. Got like a 2-point ticket, so on and so forth, so it was pretty cool. Next time, then my dad ended up selling my car for more than it was worth, so on and so forth, without telling me. That kind of led to some problems. But the second time I got caught up with the cops, I had another car. I was driving, and I was drunk. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. You'll get caught one way or the other. But the one thing I gotta say, and I don't want to repeat this for anybody because it's not a good idea, because even if it is true with you, you will eventually get to the point you're too cocky about it, and you will get caught up. I'm a better drinker and driver than most people. When I say that, when I drink and drive, I'm looking out for everything. I'm looking at the cars behind me, in front of me, right, left, even if they're not the cars in my general vicinity, because I'm looking out for cops and everything else. So I'm very cautious. But what happened was, at one of my homie's house, I had like over half a bottle of Smirnoff and like 5 bottles of Corona, so on and so forth. Drove back to my apartment, and I was just like, I want a blunt. Started driving over to my friend's house who had a blunt. Literally, street was empty. Empty. Driving down, going 10 to 15 over. Cop, like, see the cop in my fucking rearview mirror, like, oh, fuck. Cop pulls me over literally where I would have stopped to get out of my car to go see my friend. Cop stopped me, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. I know I was fucked from the beginning because I know that little voice in your head, like, tells you to do shit, when you're in bad situation, like, blah, 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 blah. The voice in my fucking head was sort of like, you don't even know what you got yourself into, man. You're so fucking wasted. So I knew I was fucked from that point. Took me out of the car, like, man, it smelled like you've been drinking a lot. I was like, nah, man, I ain't been drinking at all. And the cop pulled me out of the car, did a little sobriety test, like, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. And when you stumble, like, halfway across the street, and then stumble back just to get on your fucking original line, you know you're fucked. But the worst part about it, it was the cops were at the top of the hill like this. Cops are at the top of the hill, had me walk down here, and then walk back up. The whole time you're walking down here, you're just like, run. Like, freedom, freedom. I need to be free. Freedom, just run. I didn't run. It's probably a good thing. But after a while, they took me over to detox on silver. Cop gave me a breathalyzer like 3 times. I passed 3 times. He's like, I know you're drunk and you're blown like a fucking retard. I was like, I'm blown like a fucking retard? Well, you're a fucking asshole. And then I got a 38-point ticket. So don't call cops bad names when you're about to get arrested, or if you are arrested. Just not a good thing. But little side note, a friend of mine had a higher BAC than me on the same street. I got pulled over and literally took a bush out of his fucking roots. I'm not talking about like a bush like this. I'm talking a bush like fucking this. Like the roots were fucking this big. He took this shit the fuck out of his roots, planted it on his fucking side, and he got the same amount of points taken off my license as I got taken off my license. And on top of that, he had a higher BAC, he was more drunk, and was doing more reckless things. But I called the cop a fucking asshole, so, I guess it equals out if you're a fucking idiot. Second time I got pulled over by cops, or last time, I was driving without a license on the 2-lane street, 1 lane going this way, other lane going this way. And the fucking cop was literally, 2 motorcycle cops. 1 cop was giving another cop a ticket. I drove with the yellow line going like 10 over. But I drove with the yellow line just to make sure I wasn't going to hit the cop. And then the other motorcycle cop comes out and literally waves me over. I almost like literally just drove the fuck off. Like, fuck you. I'm driving the fuck off of this shit. Fuck your ass. I don't give a fuck. I have no license. I know that the Colorado law is that you have to fucking be in jail for 3 months. But I pulled over. Cop gave me a 16-point ticket, so on and so forth. Went to fucking the Denver courthouse after getting picked up the cops at our international airport and shit. And fucking literally got that shit dropped just because a whole bunch of bogus charges. And I had to go at judge. But about the other ticket, the 38-point ticket, and then song go. I stopped going to probation, all that other stuff. I went to this hotel, so on and so forth. I don't know. Something just told me, like a little inside voice. I got kind of wasted watching the Book of Eli and shit, and went down to swim with this fucking weighted like chain on and shit. And I got out and like a voice was like, "You know what? Do it. Tell them. Do something crazy." So I was like, "All right, fuck it." I don't remember shit. I remember getting out, drying myself up, hearing that shit like do something crazy, and the next thing I remember, I'm sitting outside this fucking hotel like looking at this cop pull up like, fuck, he's gonna arrest me. Alright, fuck, I'm just gonna sit here, wait for him to arrest me, so on and so forth. Arrested me, go to the fucking jailhouse, so on and so forth. Ended up putting me in solitary confinement for 5 fucking days. No clothes, like a piece of bread and 2 pieces of meat and a cup of water every like 5 hours. For 5 fucking days. Wouldn't even let me talk to my lawyer. Wouldn't even let me get my phone call or any of that shit. I had to deal with that shit for 5 days. The day they let me out of there was the day before I had to see the judge. So I couldn't even call my lawyer and tell him, like, nigga, like, I'm in jail. Well, I was in prison at that point in time. Like, I need you here. I had one phone call to make. I called my dad, like, I'm in here, you need to talk to my lawyer, tell him this, and this, and this, and this. My dad was fucking fine with me on the whole fucking shit. Like, I told you were gonna go through this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, nigga, I didn't realize what the fuck was gonna happen if I got caught up by the cops. Ended up seeing the judge. The judge was just like, what the fuck has these people been doing to you? And as soon as I just told him what the fuck was happening to the judge was just like, go sit down. Go sit down right fucking now at the jury fucking seat now. Walked over, the cops, the guards immediately took me out of the fucking room like, you're not going to sit down. We're not going to let you see the DA. And then like 3 to 4 days later, after fucking a few attempts for motherfuckers to try to make me their bitch and shit, the fucking, I saw the fucking second judge. And the second judge literally just looked at the fucking process like, where's the fucking statement from the DA? Where's the previous papers? Where the fuck was the fucking, first statement from him from the first judge? And the guard was just like, we expect him to do something fucking crazy. Second judge literally dropped all my charges. Like, this shit is too fucked up. 2 days served, we're dropping all of your charges. So I got all my shit dropped. So like literally within like a month, 2-month period, I got all my shit dropped. But I was in prison for a good while, and not prison when you think of the penitentiary, like you think about like cage and shit. I was in prison, like niggas were getting raped nightly in there. Luckily not me, but it came close to it. Like I was teary-eyed on the second judge. I was just like, fuck, I don't want to go back in there. Like even if I do fight back, 2 niggas, like 2 D's ass niggas try to jump me in the shower or some shit. It's fucked up. This is fucked up. But luckily, not shit happened to me, and I got out pretty happy. So right now, I'm here, pretty cool, and not fuck the police. There's some good cops, there's some bad cops. Just do what you do. Just be a happy person. And if you ever get in a case where a cop's talking shit to you, be as nice as possible. Because if you're nice as possible, the cop police will try to give you a lower ticket. If you're a dick, like I was, he'll probably give you a higher ticket. It worked out for me just because of the fact I did some stupid shit and it happened to work out for me. But do what you do. But if you've done something really fucked up, that you did something fucked up, don't admit it to the cops. Honesty is not the best policy with the police. Try my best advice. So, deuces, I'm out. And, smoke tobacco every day. I don't know, nigga.